Hey everybody, welcome to Hills and Gills. We got another little small jig to tie with a little number 4 hook right here today to take on our trout fishing trip. We're going to be going in January. So for you all, that is going to be painting your own jig heads. This is a blue metal flake type paint job that we done on this one with Timu 4mm eyes that we added to it. We just laid a white base coat, electric blue in LA colors, and then we put some blue flake also from LA colors on it, then hit it with the UV resin, and that's how we got our jig head done. Now the first thing that we're going to be adding is our thread. We're going to run this all the way down to the bend of the hook, and then right back up to behind the jig head here. Now the first thing we're going to be adding on this little tie here is some flash. Now this is a thinner flash than what I usually use. The coarser stuff are like bigger jigs and bass jigs and so on, and crappie jigs. But we're going to be using about 3 strands of this is all we need in this right here. So we'll go ahead and get him cut. And then we're going to lay this right down, and we just barely want this to come off the back of that hook. We don't want to make a bulky type jig out of this little small jig here. So we'll just lay it right around on that shank. Give him a couple turns, getting him locked in. And then I'm just going to lay the rest of it right down it. Fold him over. There we go. Then we'll just trim it up to match the other ones. There we go. Now when we once get this done, we'll go ahead and make sure it's all locked in at flashing. We'll run back right up back behind the jig head and back down to where the barb of the hook starts. Now the next thing we're going to be adding, this is electric blue hackle feather. Blue will work just as fine, but that's what this is called here, electric blue. I'm just going to go ahead and bend the stem of this feather over, flaring out those feathers. Just like so, and then we're going to go ahead and get it cut off that stem. We just need a little small pinch of this. Get him measured up there. I'm going to cut him off just a little bit more. And then we're going to slide it right between the bend of that hook, lay it right on top of that shank. Give him a couple loose turns. May have to twist him around a little bit. That looks pretty good. And then we'll just go ahead and lock him in. We'll flip our jig right back over. We're going to be going with a pink. Pink and blue are awesome colors for rainbow trout. We'll get us another pinch, just like we done with the blue. Get him measured up there. There, looks pretty good. Trim him up. And lay it right on top of the shank of the hook, right behind the jig head. Lock him in. And now what we're going to be doing next, we're going to pinch it all together, and we're going to run right down about midway down the shank of the hook. That's going to flare those hackle feathers out and separate them, allowing that flash to be seen and those feathers to just spread and open up. Okay, that's looking good. Next thing we're going to be adding some icicles. that you use for Christmas. I got 2,000 of these for like $1. Very inexpensive. Great for working with flies and jigs and so on. And one of the best things about it, it's cheap. I'll get the end of this trimmed off here. Lay it right on the back of that jig head. Lock him in. I'm just going to do one crossover because this stuff is pretty finicky to work with. And now all we're going to do is just run it right down toward where that thread ends by the hackle feather. And then we're going to work our way right back up. And then we're going to go ahead and lock it in. Do a crossover while holding pressure on him. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and get this excess trimmed off. And then we'll go ahead and we will build our red collar up here. Now at this point, all we need to do is do just a 4-turn whip finish. Let's do 5 on this one. Lock him in there. Get the excess. And then we're going to take our UV resin and we're just going to run from the start of the hackle right up to behind that jig head. Flip him over. We're going to go all the way around doing this. That's going to protect that flash or icicles. Plus it's going to give it a nice shiny look. And I just turn him a couple times, allow him to seat in there, not have like a big drip on it. Well, guys, there you go. A nice little jig that we're going to be taking with us down below Cumberland Lake in the little trout stream coming up here in January. Hope you stay tuned for that. And this will be deadly for crappie, even bluegill as well, guys. Just a nice, another little universal type jig to have in your jig box. And guys, if you liked the video, hope you give us a thumbs up. That helps our little channel out here. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're going to be doing some fishing coming up here in January. More jig tying coming your way. And until next time, as always, stay safe out there on the water, guys. And happy tying.